drink a pint of whiskey, then I'll lend you and send you to hellfire's underneath. Yeah, I know what you do to that girl. She's just a cat. So quench your bleeding. It's time to meet your maker. Lay down and take it. The vengeance for my grief. Ash to ash, dust to dust. Your flesh will rise, your bones will rust. The children, they fear me. Folks, they won't come near me. You'll see why I earn my dark refugee. Fear is my shovel. The worms are gonna love you as the dirt fills your mouth and muffles all your screams. Yeah, I know what you do to that girl. She's just a kid. So here's a shovel. Don't you stop digging till you make a hole that's about 60 deep. And I'll sit here and watch you and drink a pint of whiskey. Then I'll hit you and send you. Then I'll hit you and send you. Then I'll hit you and send you to hellfire's underneath.
Hey, everybody. Oh, hello.
Because we're going to come say hi to her. No, it's very easy. It's very impersonal. We don't need your email address. We don't need any personal information. You really helped the show. Please just go check it out. The link to it's in the show description that you got right there in front of you. Just you're staring you right in the face.
Ooh, just click on it. You know you want to. But we thank you so much for being here and listening to us.
Now they can.
And now, on to the brighter side.
On to the brighter side, please.
Come on with it, you fuckers.
I'll just use an old episode sing song when you can't find the I did everything right.
It exists in your computer somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere. I don't know how to find you in real life. You know, on my Pandora's box.
Hello, everybody.
Pandora about her box. Hello, everybody. It's
Hello.
me, Amber Nelson. How's it going? What's up?
I'm Amber Nelson.
All right. Can we please be respectful?
That is respect.
I'm Amber Nelson.
You ever get lost in a swamp?
Oh, Amber. No, I've never been lost in a swamp before. What's it like, Amber? What's it like?
No, your brothers done left you on the boat, and then you gotta swim back because they stole the oars.
Oh, boy. Dear sweet Lord. All right.
Real story.
Just checking all the microphones now after we've already started because that's the way to do production. How's it going, everybody? Ho, how you doing? We've got hoes in the chat for me, myself. Do we have any Eda cheeseburgers for Ed?
Oh, someone give me cheeseburgers for peace, everybody.
Cheeseburgers for peace.
Cheeseburgers for peace. If we could all eat a bunch of cheeseburgers and achieve world peace, oh my God, there'd be one smiling ass world. Except
I'll tell
for
you
in
what.
India.
It's early afternoon for myself, and it is for everybody else, and it is the morning for me, my friend. I've got my cup of coffee.
Yes.
I've got an Ed Larson to my left. That means it's time for the fucking Brighter Side Live. I hope you have some problems. I told people yesterday, get a problem if you don't have one already.
Find a fucking problem.
Because this show runs on your issues. She's a man, baby. An airport beer for Ed. There you go. $8 from Tommy.
Oh,
So there you go.
that's
Just
so
to get your
nice.
ass an airport beer. I'll Venmo you that after the show.
Oh, wow, I will get an airport beer. Thank you.
He's flying out tonight back to
I have a
LA.
late flight. I'm going to need it.
Maybe that's my problem. Ed's leaving again. He comes in, he does a sketch show. We do a Brighter Side. It's so much fun. And then he leaves before I even know it.
I had a great trip.
Yeah.
I have to say, I truly had a great trip. I hate Easter, and so it was nice to finally have a nice Easter.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a holiday built on lies.
Absolutely.
I celebrated Passover with my family, my Jewish family, my Jewish side, and then which was really cool, man. I had this epiphany during Passover. Why don't Christians celebrate Passover?
I don't know. Why don't they, Ed?
No, I'm just saying it's like a question.
I
It's
thought
not
I
a
was
joke.
setting you up for a funny joke.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, but no, it's just like, why don't they? They believe in it.
Yeah.
It's in the Bible.
It's in there.
Yeah, so why not
Because
celebrate too?
they need to have their own traditions. You got to keep it separated. You know, if we all unified and everybody was peaceful with each other, what kind of world would we live in? You know, a one without war, without pestilence. I think I don't know what pestilence is. I never learned
Pee
it.
poo poo.
Yeah, pee pee poo poo goes down the hole instead of on the street. Oh my God. I have this big, giant, because the sidewalks in New York can be massive, and the sidewalks in front of my apartment are no different. They're huge, and they just put a new sidewalk in this one section of the fucking in front of my apartment, like near my apartment. And I'm walking, and literally just like, it's so white and pristine, and somebody just let their dog shit right in the middle of it, and just without picking it up, like several shits.
No one picks up shit anymore.
It's
crazy.
shocking, dude. I was just like, how this is so blatant. Like, you didn't even try to, like, do it off to the side or do it on, like, a filthy, disgusting part of the sidewalk. No, it's this pristine, beautiful sidewalk, and all of a sudden it's immediately smeared with shit.
When I'm walking my dog and I see an extra pile of shit next to his shit, I pick it up.
There you go.
Help out the neighborhood. Unless
you
I'm
go.
not in my neighborhood, then I could give a shit.
Looks like we've got an update, pun intended. Looks like
Yes.
we got an update from Cubic's Rube. Hey, Ed, I'm the guy that sent you the message about both our dads going through dialysis. Just want to say Dad's doing good. He's on dialysis, but he's doing better.
Me
so that's
too.
fantastic.
My dad's
Fantastic.
kidneys actually improved somehow. I don't understand. I saw him last weekend.
I don't understand
Yeah, he doesn't.
how anything about your father is improved.
He's becoming a better person.
That's good.
Yes, he's working.
The
he's
fear
working
of death
hard.
will do that to a man.
Yeah. Losing a leg and the fear of death will do that. But I just met him in Tahoe. Jeff and David Tell were doing a show, and so I decided to go out and bring my father and his family, and it was great.
Fantastic.
Jeff hadn't seen him in 30 years.
Oh wow.
They hadn't seen each other.
They had grievances.
Yeah, when Jeff's dad died, my father's brother, there was like a rift.
A whole
And
thing.
they hadn't seen him in 30
That's
fucking
amazing.
years.
So it was like
and
this
they reconnected. It was beautiful. It was,
very cool, and it was cool for you personally in terms of a personal journey. That you felt that it was finally time for that to happen, which I'm sure was something you definitely maybe never even thought was going to be possible.
Yeah. It just drives me crazy every time I go see my dad. I mean, I was like, all right, let's go out to dinner, pick a place. And he always picks the buffet. It's just like, you have one leg. You picking the only place where you have to get up 4 times a meal to eat. It's just
Right. That's that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Probably be better to maybe a happy medium would be the sushi joint where you sit there and the thing just revolves around you.
Oh, man.
Would be good.
You
for
do
him.
not eat sushi in Reno. It's a tip for life.
Tip for life,
Everyone
everybody.
can take that with them on wherever you go in your journeys. Oh, well, Reno especially. Oh, man, I had this interesting thing happen to me when I was in Reno.
Shoot.
I was out drinking late. I'm like, all right, so I don't like being in casinos because of all the shit that went down on my mom.
Of course.
And I don't, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to go check out these random bars in Reno. And I found this bar. It's like a Abraham Lincoln themed bar, closed. And so I went to the next bar, which was called Abbey Avenue, and it was just run by this old dude. And it was just a bunch of old Reno guys in there. And the bartender was really funny. He was crazy. We were having a good time. He's 60 years old. He's taking me out back. We're smoking joints. We're having a good time. And then out of nowhere, he thinks he's being funny once he finds out that I do comedy. And he
oh, boy.
And he drops the N-word.
Oh.
And I was just like, man. I was just like, listen, dude. I was like, I just want to give you a piece of advice.
Oh.
That word's over.
Was it like an old school racist joke, or was he just fucking around?
It was just fucking around. It was like a racist trope, it was like an old joke.
Trying to just get maybe a rise out of you or something.
Yeah, and it wasn't trying to piss me off.
No.
He just read
trying
me.
to surprise you.
Yeah.
Read you wrong.
Read me wrong. That happens to me a lot. A lot of people read me wrong. A lot of people think I'm a complete animal.
Yeah, absolutely. I still do.
Yeah, and so I was just like, hey, man, just a little piece of advice. That word's over. And he's like, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. I was like, honestly, you will lose your business.
See, kudos to you,
You
for...
will
I feel like this is an admission I will make that I think I've made before, because when this subject has come up, I feel like I'm such a fucking little scaredy cat when it comes to confronting people like that when people do stuff like that, because like I grew up in the South and that kind of talk, like for me, I would just usually just be like, ooh, like internal cringe and but not say shit because like I didn't want to start any problems or anything or like get into a fight or anything. So I would just kind of be like, cool, and then just like afterwards just feel such guilt for not saying anything and just blowing it off and acting like, yeah, right, like, you know what I'm saying? Not that I would like agree with them or anything,
like,
but
I wasn't yelling at
do
him.
the minimum amount you can do to like move forward in the social interaction without like,
I like gave him advice because like
that's
just
good.
moments
That's very smart.
Just moments before, I actually saw him give a black homeless guy money and tell him he could sleep underneath his bar.
Wow, yeah.
So it's just like I know he was not
right,
racist.
Yeah, like
he's just saying the word. I'm like,
just
dude,
fucking
you're
around.
gonna fuck your life up. You keep that shit up.
Not that we used to say the N-word, but I mean, we in small rooms we used to say shit that was fucked up just to get a rise out of each other. It's kind of a comedian thing, So I mean, I kind of understand it, but you also do that sort of thing with people you have a deep trust with, and honestly, we don't really do anything kind of really like that anymore. You know?
Definitely grew out of it.
When you're younger, you sort of do it because you're just like, hey, these are things we're not allowed to say, so you just say them just to fucking fuck with, to try to fuck with people.
And it's a word that's a little easier to say in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
But it's the word is over.
The word is, I mean, that word's been over since before I was born, but even other words in our lifetime, there are other words that I don't even need to say.
Your life over.
Yeah. There are other words that are now over too that we had to kind of slowly adapt to, that we used to use a little bit more. The F word, both R words kind of. One word is more, but it's a point of contention, and words dying and having to adapt. It's funny because I never thought, I always felt so progressive as a younger person. So it's funny now to feel like grandpa being like, give me retard back. I want retard back. It's just so silly. And then you're just like, wait, I'm just like the fucking old men that we thought were so foolish back in the day for being like, I need the word like, no, I don't really. No, I don't really.
You are stupid if you need the word.
Yeah, you don't need. Yeah, exactly. You are. No, we're not gonna make that joke. Ernie Permer says, brighter side of asking for a raise and getting $1 raise, but then on my last paycheck, my bonus was cut in half from what it normally is, so I made less money this time than I did a month and a half ago. How the fuck does that work, Ernie? That sounds like complete and utter dog shit.
Maybe your company did worse, and that's why your bonus was worse.
There you go. Maybe that's just a sign. At least the
your
brighter
boss
side
is
is
a dickhead.
Yeah, maybe
you
you
just found out.
Maybe your boss is hopefully getting punished financially as well for his bullshit, even though we know how that works. But I would say the brighter side of that is, well, I hate to use the old lateral move here, but there are other jobs, I suppose, and it might, I'll tell you what, my day job put me in a precarious fucking position where they were essentially like, well, they called me into the room and they were like, you can either leave at the end of 3 months or you can take this moderate raise and triple down on your work ethic, and we're going to have a meeting with like everybody from the company, and they're going to sit down and tell you what you can do for them, and it's going to be a ton of work, and it's going to be this and that. And I walked in after the weekend and was like, yeah, I'll be done in 3 months. Thank you for doing this and releasing me from the torture and hell that is working this fucking job. I never would have done this probably if you hadn't given me this ultimatum. So at the end of the day, Ernie, maybe it's a sign that you need to move the fuck on, pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin.
The show is just starting.
The show is just starting. That was our first one.
And
right
I will
there.
say, dude, I mean, at least you got the balls to ask for a raise. That's cool. Man, I do remember one time when I was a chef and I had employed some of my buddies, and they were never good. Whenever you employ your buddy, they're always bad at their job. And I remember I had this guy, Dave from Wisconsin, and he was working with me, and my boss sat me down. He's like, you gotta fire Dave. He's really bad. I'm like, just give him another week. It's going to be fine. He'll work it out. I'll work with him. It'll be okay. And he's like, all right, fine. One more week. And then I walk upstairs, and Dave's like, hey, I think it's about time I got a raise. He was like, man, I just saved your fucking ass.
That's amazing. Cubic Soup chiming in on the Passover thing. Hey, guys, Christian here. So the main reason a lot of Christians don't do Passover is because it's an Old Testament event that happened. We talk about it and acknowledge it, but we normally don't celebrate things that happened before Jesus did. But I think he meant to write died.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I still think that's bullshit. Noah built an ark. Praise his ass.
I have a problem. Whenever I eat pizza, I chub up. How can I make it so I don't get Horngry. I would just say, you know,
gotta go with that.
You just need to roll with that. You need to adapt to that. So you
Yeah.
need to definitely be eating pizza on date night. You know what I'm saying? Come on, please.
Or fuck pizza.
Or fuck the pizza itself. Maybe try to cool the pizza down first before you do that because you don't want them dick burns.
Or wear a condom.
Or wear a condom. Well,
Yeah.
that would still burn up your shit, though, if it was a fucking bunch of melty cheese covering your
I would
condom
say
covered
try
penis.
a calzone first if you're gonna bang it.
Clawgerg50 says, brighter side of living with bipolar disorder and living with crazy highs where I feel like I'm king of the world and terrible lows where I'm just utterly depressed and I can barely get out of bed and function. You know, I'm gonna throw this one to you, Ed, because this is a tough one, and I don't do tough. No, I'm just thinking about my answer for a
You
second.
can't feel those highs if you don't feel those lows, baby.
I mean, that
How
is
are you
the
supposed to
truth.
know what's great if everything's great? You know, I learned this from Beavis and Butthead. Taught me this actually.
So, have you ever lived with anyone with bipolar disorder?
I've known a lot of people with bipolar disorder, and it's a fucking disaster.
Yeah, it's a
really
tough
hard,
one.
and it's really hard to overcome. Like, all joking aside, it's like it's crazy. You never know, like that. You don't have much control over yourself, and you got to get on those meds. And I don't even know if those helpful.
That's the
you
thing,
know,
isn't
like-
it? Isn't it kind of like you have to dabble with all, you know, you kind of have
You
to
gotta
work with
figure
different
out
types
your
of
cocktail.
meds and find out what works for you, and therefore you have to deal with some really shitty problems because some of the meds will have side effects that fuck you up, and then you have to go on to try the other. Yeah. It sounds like
I
a
think
real difficult racket, but there is, at least I will say, the brighter side is there is actively something you can do about it, and at least there is that. It
And
is.
you're not denying that you have it.
Yeah.
You know you have it.
That's
you know
true.
it. You're trying to keep yourself in check.
Can you imagine the people that lived all through like the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, like who
Yeah.
had no idea they had this problem, and just everyone just was like, yeah, that's just crazy Martha. She's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they never, you know, at least we have modern science to attempt to help the issue.
Yeah. Don't fight anybody. I've seen that a lot. You know, whatever you do, find a way to keep your violence in check. I've seen a lot of people who are bipolar turn to violence, and it's just that'll ruin your life. You know, and you can't get out of that anymore.
And hopefully, I hope you can find at least one person, you know, out there, at least one person that understands your problems, understands your disorder, and is willing to have patience with you and work with you on it and help you and be that support system. Hopefully, you can fucking find that for yourself. Same Holden, I'm from rural Alabama, and it's tough to call people out on their racism for fear of them becoming violent, especially when you can see the pistol in their hip. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah,
I
no.
can't even.
I'm in the middle of arguing with a very old great friend of mine, like a truly
really?
great friend of mine, about the Confederate flag. We've been going back and forth.
Yeah.
If you want to watch, you can go to my Facebook page. But
So it's all been made public because
it's
we
all
live in the
public,
future.
and I'm like worried about him. Like I said, like the other guy, you know, it's just like he's got a very successful business, and I don't want anything to happen to him. But you know, he's just like, and he keeps pulling out all these old websites, and it's just it's sad, and and it's upsetting. And I really wish that, you know, he understood, like, you don't need it. Like, the Confederate flag is something you don't need in this world anymore. It belongs in a museum. Indiana Jones that shit and fucking put it away. We're not hanging Nazi flags. These are people who like took a race of people and made them slaves.
Yeah.
You know, like it's crazy to and then they left the country. They left they seceded, and then people who wave the thing and talk about how they support the troops, it's like, you're supporting the troops of the bad guys. That's like waving a Nazi flag around and saying that I support the troops. It's the same fucking thing. And so it drives me crazy. I really wish people would just let that one go. It's not helping anybody.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it's such a big deal. Just, you know, again, I know we've kind of talked about this issue before on this show.
Confederate statues, yeah.
Yeah, just like, I understand hanging on to something for historical sake. Do you have to fly it in front of your fucking house and make it your identity? It's just a part of history. And if you respect that history and you want to like appreciate that history, there's probably like a you know, a little spot like in your basement that you know have I don't know, but like, do you have to put it on your fucking truck and shit? I mean, does it
Yeah.
have to be like part of your identity, like the American flag? I don't think it is. You know, I think it belongs like that sort of stuff belongs in a museum.
It's Indiana Jones, that shit.
Indiana Jones, that fucking shit. You know, I guess maybe keep a creepy, weird room in your house for historical mementos like that. I mean, some people
Put
do,
it in
but
the
it's
trunk in your. If I had a Nazi flag, I would put it in like a trunk in my attic.
yeah,
You know,
something
like, and it would
that.
just be there, and I'd show like my grandson in like 30 years, you know, and be like, look at what we have.
This
We
is a
killed
crazy,
these men.
memento from like the fucked up history of this world. I get that to a certain degree, even though
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, I don't need a room in my house that's dedicated to like the Civil War. But I mean, the Civil War is an important thing in our history.
It's
I mean,
cool to learn
I
about.
love
And so
learning
is
about
World
it.
War II,
I'm
you know,
such a
but-
huge, I don't want to say fan of the Civil War, but like I love the Civil War has so many fascinating characters involved, battles involved, so much insane strategy. It's a fascinating fucking war. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many weird things. Definitely watch the Ken Burns documentary about the Civil War. I took a class in high school about the Civil War, but I'm not sitting here feeling like I need to hang on to have a Confederate flag because I'm fascinated by the history of this country.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so weird. It's like I don't know. I don't get why it needs to be some kind of identity banner thing. You
Yeah.
know, that's when it gets weird. That's when it's like, why are you putting your identity behind this side of history? That
Yeah.
doesn't make very much sense to me. It feels much more like, it's some kind of no matter what, you're intimidating or affecting negatively people. Like, could you imagine? Like, I don't want to walk around with anything necessarily
Gonna
like
upset
on my
everybody.
person that's just gonna piss people off. Like, why the fuck do you want to do that? It almost feels like you have some sort of a wish to kind of stir shit
You're
up.
bringing up the worst time in this country's history.
Yeah.
You know, it's clearly fucking crazy. Man, know what else is weird? I get into these conversations on Facebook and social media, and I've had all these weird people I know throughout time. And like the other day, I know this sheriff in Texas, and I know his wife, and his wife was posting. She posted this post that was why you making us tear down our statues? Why doesn't Hollywood tear down the stars of all the bad guys? You know, and it made a lot of sense. You know, but I was just joking around, and I was like, oh, come on, it just happened. Give us some time. You had like 150 years. You know, and then but then they got all mad, and I was like, listen, I love you. It was just like, you're right. You know, they should take down those stars. And I looked into it and why they don't rip out Bill Cosby's star, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey's star.
Yeah.
And the reason they don't is because those people actually own them. You have to pay $30,000
Whoa.
to get your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And so those people actually own those stars.
Wow.
And so that's why they don't rip out the stars.
Dear Ed and Holden, can you wish Charlie Chop Shop a happy birthday? Yes, absolutely. Charlie Chop Shop, happy birthday. Also, I see Joe Daddy right there saying they give advice for your problems. I don't know if we ever explained the show in case someone here is new. This is the brighter side. We don't give you advice for your
wouldn't
problems.
call
We
it
try
advice.
not to give you advice for your problems. What we try to do is find the brighter side of your problems. And if advice seeps through, don't take it seriously. We are in no way trained professionals. But yes, let us know. If you have a problem, let us know in chat. Spill the beans, and we will try to find the brighter side.
I'll tell you how I would deal with it. And like, I'm not always right. Lord
No.
knows I fucked up my
God,
shit.
Head is so wrong so much of the time. So yeah, Chop Chop Network, the F word out
Charlie
of
Chop Shop!
Charlie Chop Shop, happy birthday, buddy. The F word out of anger is so lame. The F word can be hilarious. Used in anger, it just makes me think you're fragile and insecure. Yeah, absolutely. So definitely using it out of anger, it really it reminds me of like middle school kids whenever you use the F word legitimately out of anger. But even as a joke, I got to the point where I had gay friends be like, you know what? No. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
like,
they finally, like guys in Murder Fist, they're like, finally,
got to a point they were just like, no, I
Not
don't want
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah.
No more. And you're like, okay.
I can't argue that.
And I will say this right now because
not worth it.
Actually, I made it a point today. This kind of connects to a thing I did today. Today, in my normal stream that's going to be at 2 p.m., I said I'm doing no penis talk today because yesterday it was just like all like horny penis, dick and balls, right?
Save it for Japanese.
Save it for Japanese. And I just did that for myself because also I had the sketch group I direct, National Scandal, shout outs to them at the People's Improv Theater. They recently said, we need to stop writing sex-based sketches.
Yeah.
We rely on it way too much. So I said, fine, moratorium on any sex talk in any one of our sketches in the next like 2 shows. And the material got so much better.
Yeah, well, it's a crutch.
Yeah, and so is like, say, using like strong language like that in a sketch. It can be a crutch. And actually, if it's instead of being like, I'm censoring myself and comedy, liberals in comedy, it's all censorship now. I think it's more like challenge yourself, dude. Instead of just saying, retard as a punchline, like challenge yourself to make actual fucking jokes. You twit.
There you go, buddy.
There you go. Now I'm getting it out.
Ooh, the brighter side of spilled beans.
Ooh.
I guess you can
No
work.
farts.
You can work on your counting. You can count the beans.
There you go.
Yeah, work on your numbers games.
Hey guys, recently my neighbor this is from Holden's Neighbor 69. Recently my neighbor has been making life hard. He constantly harasses us and he constantly has sex with big bikers and screams things. Also, he shits in my work boots, and one time he made love to a stack of ribs I was cooking. Maybe that neighbor just needs some love. Maybe you need to go to that neighbor's house, knock on the door, and just give him a big old hug because he's a sweet guy at the end of the day and he's just doing his stream and having a good time.
Or maybe you should start locking your door and letting him in your house. Or does he have a key? Why is he banging your ribs?
So there you go. There you absolutely
Work on
go.
your bullshit.
Brighter side of to having family on the wrong side of history.
It sucks, but we learn from everything, we learn from our mistakes. It's also back then they didn't know any better, and that is the unfortunate problem.
I mean, the key word here is history, and in the sense that that family, if you love them, it's maybe this isn't the happiest thing to say, but they will pass on, and they're part of history, and we move forward as a country, and one love, one life, praise Jah and whatnot, and we live on and we move on. You know what I'm saying?
You know the difference between right and wrong, so rewrite your family's history.
Legalize
Do something really cool.
it.
Take your name. If for some reason you guys are famous slave owners or something with your name, then you take your name and fucking work in the middle of homeless shelters and do stuff like that, and pay it forward, man, and change what your name means.
What's the brighter side to being blind in one eye? Well, the brighter side would probably be the eye with sight in it.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, you can see the brightness.
Yes.
If you're blind in the...
Yeah, I mean, you could be blind in 2 eyes. There's that as well.
An eye for an eye makes the whole world start unanimously masturbate. See, penis talk. There it is.
You went straight to it.
Just immediately. Ed Larson's political posts are the only ones I enjoy on Facebook because he's not an asshole.
Thank you. I try to see both sides. I really go out of my way to read Fox News and all that stuff.
Analingus Dingus says, my hometown is the town where the Freedom Riders bus was burned, and it's so disheartening to see the amount of Confederate flags flying around.
God damn. Yeah. It is disheartening. That is disheartening. But that's not a place for buses.
Stone Mountain outside Atlanta, they wave the Confederate flag all around saying how proud they are about it, and then you have people stand for the national anthem. You are proud of the separatist, yet proud of the country that you didn't want.
Yeah, no, yeah. That is exactly my point that I was talking about earlier. It's really bizarre. I mean, it's like the ignorance is right in front of you. And it's like, it's on your shirt. You're holding it in your hand, it's crazy. And they, but they're wrong.
We got a serious one coming in. I'll leave out the username because he also wrote, why'd I just type this fuck right afterwards? Hey, Holden and Ed, I don't usually air out my feelings. Why am I doing this? I'm on dialysis 3 times a week. I'm constantly feeling like shit. My insomnia is much worse on it. I'm tired of it, and I really want to start using CBD oil, which would probably be very helpful, but I'm on transplant list, and if they see you have THC in your system, they take you off the transplant list. I think a giant flaw in our healthcare system is I've actually heard of this issue before. I constantly feel like I'll never get a kidney. Been on dialysis 3 years, depression, feeling terrible every day. Sooks.
Isn't CBD and THC different?
Is that true?
I don't know.
The CBD they read? Well, that I mean, if we can't verify it right here
Yeah.
and now, maybe somebody else in chat wants to.
Maybe you should just go to one of the 30 states that allows it, man. I don't
Yeah,
know
just
where
move
you're
to
at.
because would they allow you to be? I mean, first of all, I'm sure it'd be hard to like move from one
While you're
transplant
on-
list to another transplant list. That's
Yeah.
probably going to put you at the bottom of the list. I'm guessing. I mean, I'm making a lot of guesses
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah.
so that might be an issue with doing a move. But also, are we sure that if you go to like Colorado or somewhere like that, that you would both be able to get a transplant and have THC in your system?
I mean, you'd definitely be able to get the THC in your system.
Definitely for fucking sure.
It's man, that hurts. I mean, you got to talk to your doctors and just beg them. And if it isn't weed, then you got to get, unfortunately, probably something stronger.
CBD and THC are different. So, yeah, you can get the pure CBD.
Yeah, I feel like if it's just CBD, I mean, I give that shit to my dog.
Yeah.
Jesus. Like they make doggy treats.
Right. Oh,
he's
right.
got
That's
bad
right.
knees.
Yeah, he's got bad knees.
Yeah. So I give him CBD. I give him one treat a day.
So I would maybe look. The brighter side is maybe you haven't looked quite enough into the CBD thing, and you may still
can't
actually be able to
smoke
get that.
weed. You can use the pain healing agent of CBD. Hopefully.
Maybe have you talked to your doctor about this? I mean, I'm guessing
I'd be very
he
worried
has.
to get off of the list. I could imagine.
I could imagine that.
But you can plead with him, and then, man.
And you could at least have a conversation with them, say, hey, what's the deal? You know, it's not like they're going to take you off the list just for asking about CBD, you know?
Good luck, buddy.
There you go,
Dialysis
yeah.
is a fucking monster.
Yeah.
It's giving my dad a lot of problems.
Of
but
course.
he's getting better, and hopefully you do too, buddy.
Did he do anything with CBD or anything like that?
I keep trying to give him weed. He won't take it.
Okay. Understandable. You know, people are old school. You know, when they're old school, they're
He
they're
keeps
old
like
school.
saying stuff like, "Oh, maybe I'm a candidate for medical marijuana." I was like, "Here, try it," and then he's like, "Oh no, I can't." Oh man.
CBD is supposed to have any THC in it, says Jackie is my queen, but I don't know if it's absolutely 0.00% or like 0.5. I can see why you would be terrified
Yes.
to do it if there's even a slight chance you could be removed from the list that will save your life.
Yeah.
So I get it. I totally get that.
Fucked up rules.
Fucking terrible.
Call your fucking senator. Call your governor and explain your problem to them. And
Right.
make them listen to that shit.
Whew, I'll tell
Maybe
you what.
you don't get it, but maybe the next guy does.
I don't want to sidebar too much, but I started the Netflix documentary series yesterday, Raising Flint.
Oh no.
Woo!
Is it good?
It's fucking real good.
Is it like The Wire?
I was gonna say it's rad, but it's not like rad. It's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
awful.
It's not like
Yeah,
dirt
it does
bikes.
feel like real life Wire. It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah, because it's following the police unit, but it's also covering like the government side of it, and it's like kind of introduced all the characters really well, and they're all really kind of characters, and it's fucking really good.
Do they whatchamacallit? Do they go over the water stuff?
Oh, of course, yeah, they definitely talk about the water, but the water stuff's like not even. That's like in the background.
I mean, it's
Because-
always been a really fucked up.
Yeah,
place.
because there's literally like they went from like 350 officers to like 98,
Oh my
serving
God.
a town of 100,000. There's just constant crime, all these boarded up houses. It is a nightmare in Flint, Michigan. There's that, and then there's also another good documentary that was a short that was nominated on for an Oscar on Netflix called Heroin.
Oh, I saw that.
That was awesome.
That was
too.
really good.
I
That was really
teared
good.
up at the end.
Oh
man.
yeah, man. I cry very easily now.
Yes, I do too. I cried so much more easily at shit, dude. I was like, I lost it during that one too. So check that one as well. It's about 3 women trying to fucking change this insane heroin epidemic in West Virginia. It's phenomenal. It's like 3 different
Across
angles.
the country, man. Those crazy drugs. I don't understand where these people get the time.
They start with the pills. They hurt themselves. They end up on painkiller. It's the doctors just write a script.
Mm-hmm.
They give them a crazy painkiller for their fucking leg that they probably don't even need. They start using those. They get hooked on those. Then they move on. And then when they can't afford the pills anymore, they move on to heroin. It is disgusting.
I've
The
lost
doctors
4
of this
friends-
country should
yeah.
be fucking at least smacked around a little bit.
Man, I've lost 4 friends to OxyContin. I've
Jesus.
lost no one else to any other drug.
Ugh.
Like, so that is definitely on
Do
my
not-
never-to-do list.
Yeah, do not write a prescription for that fucking pill. You
crazy.
Florida psychos.
Well, a lot of people steal them. I mean, we
Yeah.
had remember my story was our vice principal was selling them to the students, and he got
Jesus.
caught. And the kids were dying, and he kept selling them.
That's insane.
pretty sure he's still in prison.
That's please, good. Why wouldn't he be? Yeah, that's insane.
Man, the other we're getting sidetracked here, but like I'm still talking about OxyContin.
Yeah.
Did you see not too long ago? Like Trump said, anyone who sells opioids should get the death penalty, and it's just like they're regulated
So
by the
the doctors in the world. The FCA should get the death penalty then, or what? Is it the FCA? I don't even know anymore.
FDA.
Do you guys FDA? Thank you. Do you guys have? I was thinking of the Federal Cockett Administration. I'm sorry, I won't do any more penis talk today. Do you guys have advice on how to help someone who has recently been diagnosed with anxiety disorder? My older sister has been having panic attacks but doesn't ever want to talk about it because she feels she has to be the strong one. Man, that's a tough one to break through when you have that feeling within yourself. Do you ever manage or deal with anxiety, Ed?
I had one panic attack, and it was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it was really, I thought I was dying for a second. It's a really intense thing to go through. Like, and it's scary. I'm glad I had the one just so I could understand what other people are going through. But man, they are really intense, and they really, I mean, like, you just ask that person what they need in that instance, because you're very fragile in that moment, and you think you're dying, you think you're having a seizure, your whole fucking bullshit's upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, you just gotta be nice to them and help them out a little bit, and they'll work through it, and they'll figure out how to live their life, but they might need a little extra, just kindness from you. And if they don't want to take it sounds like there's someone who doesn't want to take the kindness because they want to be the strong one. Don't even like mention that you're doing it. Just kind of do it, and just like like when the toothpaste is out, just go get the toothpaste. Stuff like little things like that, and just put it there and never talk about it. Just be a good brother or sister. Is it a sibling?
Sister, yeah, older sister.
Just be a good sibling, and just do little things that will help them without them knowing you're helping them.
I have never had a panic attack, God forbid, knock on wood, because to be honest with you, dude, from the description of it, it just sounds like insane. And definitely reading about a panic attack. I've had anxiety before, right? I read, reading about a panic attack, I'm like, oh, I've never been anywhere close to that level, Yeah. And I think if I was close to that level, the first thing I'd want to do was seek help. You have to at least have faith that if she's going through these difficult times, that she will finally kind of break down and hit some sort of a rock bottom where she has to seek help for this disorder. And this at least she got. Also, the brighter side is she was recently diagnosed, right? So we know that she's at least gone to see a doctor about it. She's figuring shit out. And I think that's, if anything, the brighter side is that the diagnosis itself is a bit of a relief in the sense like, okay, I know what this is. Now I can try to do something about it. One thing I do see here, though, is she feels like she has to be the strong one. That need to be the strong one, that need to have control is part of the cause of the anxiety disorder, I'm guessing. So hopefully she's at least taking, from what it sounds like, I don't know what the circumstances of her actually getting this diagnosis were, but it sounds like she's sort of at least moving towards the right direction.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, every time we do this show, we get more and more questions like this about people with their anxiety, with their bipolar disorder, or whatever thing they got. I think the main thing to remember is that it is completely normal. You're not weird. It's probably it's probably weird to be normal. So like at this point, so like you have to embrace it and fix yourself and understand what you have. Otherwise, you're going to be fucking, you're just going to go crazy. You're just going to jump off the deep end.
Brighter side of being in a great relationship with the girl flipped a switch, stole my money, stopped living at my place, and cheated on me with the best friend. The worst part was she had a son, and I really wanted to be a father, and I can't be that now. Well, sounds like the best part is that she definitely made it she didn't subtly just become awful over a long period of time and waste a lot of your time. It sounds like she really flipped that switch, and at least flipping the switch just immediately pushes you into a situation where you need to move forward with your life.
It sucks you got to lose the relationship with the kid. That happened recently with a family member. For me, someone went off the deep end, and you guys kind of you lose the kid. That's like the relationship with the child, and you really hope for the best for them, but at the same time, I mean, unless you think it's a necessary thing to get them out of that situation, there's really nothing you can do. It's their kid, and you just gotta fucking hope the best for that child. And if they let you still talk to the kid or send it gifts, do that. And when it gets old enough, it'll come see you, it'll find you, and you'll be able to have a decent relationship with that child. which is a shame. And you'll get to be a dad. Just you're getting another relationship, and it works out. How old are you? Like, I'm gonna guess you're 26. You'll be fine.
Ugh, God. Still Doden says, challenge yourself to not say like every 10 words. I feel like I say constantly, and I hate it about myself. Anyways, just a sidebar there.
I always say the word Jew.
Oh, well, that's just there you go. Just your heritage and everything. Analingus says, I hope I didn't miss anyone. I'm trying to scroll through on the smaller chat because you guys are being fucking
today.
rad today. We've had around 45, 50 people this whole time too hanging out with us. Thank you so much for doing that. Analingus Dingus, what's the brighter side of having a close friend that has horrid breath? I can't say anything to him about it, and he sighs a lot, and I want to vomit, but I can't be the bitch and say anything he has to know. You know what? At the end of the day, Analingus Dingus,
you can say something.
You can say something.
If you're close enough, you can say something.
The brighter side is you can say something. Also, the brighter side is it's probably not like necessarily bad hygiene. Sometimes it's a medical condition that people have that causes bad breath. They have, I forget what it's called, but they have something in their throat or something like that.
I had a girlfriend who her stomach acid used to bubble up a lot, and it was very, she had stinky breath on the regular, and it sucks. And they could have like a tooth infection or something.
Yeah,
you don't know what's going on.
It could actually
in there.
be something deeper than that.
And so maybe you should say something because maybe they don't know and they need to go to the dentist.
And they might need to like actually get help and go to the doctor. So
and if you're close enough friends, you should be able to tell them. Like, I know if Holden stunk, I'd let him know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They let me know all the time. I never get away from it. Brighter side of starting to drink cups of vodka at 9:30 a.m. while watching two awesome fuckers. I mean, the brighter side is you're drunk.
Yeah, it's a little early for vodka, buddy.
Good Lord. People that sip on vodka, I just can't understand that ever. Or shoot it or anything.
I can't drink before like 5 anymore unless it's like a day drinking day.
Unless it is,
with everybody else.
It's a football watching day or something, and we're all together. But even then, I usually don't show up to that until at least like
try to get a couple glasses of water in there with that vodka. If you can do yourself a favor, and try maybe a meal as well. Just stop living like Charles Bukowski.
Brighter side of being a depressed piece of shit, lol. My house is fucked. It's hilarious. My house is fucked. It's so dirty. I am overwhelmed. I have rats, and I don't take care of them well enough, and I am so insecure about my friendships. I know they all love me, but I have a lot of FOMO, and I feel like they are all plotting against me, which I know isn't true. I can't seem to have any form of self-love currently in my life. I can't talk to any of them about it because I feel like I'm being a burden because they ostracized someone who is having the same problem. So interesting. I wonder if that means these might not be the best friends for you.
Or listen, you're living in filth. You got rats running all around you. You got to clean your place up a little bit, and you're going to lose your friends. They're not going to come over. If you don't, and you gotta take some self-worth, and you gotta have some self-worth for yourself, because you know what, living in a nice place is fucking nice, Yeah. And so you just do it. I tell you what, I used to live like a fucking pig, and I don't anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
So here's what can help you. We all both had rats and stuff in our apartments and stuff like that.
100%.
When we lived together, we were monsters. But baby steps. Like you say, you probably have a giant list of shit you do wrong in your house. Pick one and do it.
Yeah.
And then don't do anything else that day. Do one thing nice for yourself.
One thing a day.
Yeah, just do one, and then you'll be like, oh, that was fine. And then also, what I like to do, I try to find some way to enjoy cleaning. I hate doing the floors. So I always leave that for Julie. But I'll do everything else. I'll do laundry, and I use that as my time to jam out and listen to music and really learn about what's going on in music right now. And you could do that with podcasts, you could do that with shitty television, have that in the background, but the most important thing is to get off your couch, wipe your fucking ass, and start. And then as soon as you start respecting yourself, other people will start respecting you and liking you too, because you're the most important person to you. And if you don't take care of yourself, no one's going to take care of you.
And it might be possible that you need to seek deeper help than just cleaning up the apartment. I mean, I will say for sure that depression's real. It's a real clinical issue, and it might go deeper than that. I'm not sure how deep your thing lies. Because I feel like bad just saying just start fixing your bullshit, dude. You know, when sometimes it's like you actually may need some medication or something like that to turn things around. So I would definitely, or at least maybe maybe seek out some therapy possibly to get on the right track if it goes that deep. If it's as easy, if you can really talk yourself into doing one thing a day that makes your apartment a little bit nicer, if you can actually do that, I would highly recommend it. Also, get vitamin D. If you don't leave the house much, get vitamin D or spend some time outside in the sunshine. I know it's such a small thing, but it can really make a giant difference in your life. Like, you should probably get like 2,000. Go to your like vitamin store, get like 2,000 milligram pill tablets or whatever of vitamin D, and just take one a day. And or honestly, even better than that, go outside and just let the sun just be on you for like a half an hour, you know, and just take in a little bit of sun, because that can actually be the difference between just getting you a little bit more positivity in your life, getting you a little bit more motivated. Another good thing to do, exercise, always very good. Again, gets you motivated and active. I mean, what's really good is to try to like give yourself a schedule and try to live around that, you know, and writing, like saying to yourself, I will spend 30 minutes picking up, you know, vacuuming the floor. I will spend another 30 minutes going on a run. You know, these are little tiny baby steps that will get you into an actual day with an actual schedule that will motivate you into further stuff. But that said, if you do truly have clinical depression, then there's other things that it goes deeper than that. And I'm not going to try to like,
because that's
stuff
we can't really truly answer. But here's what I prescribe for you: clean your fridge out. Just clean your fridge out. Get rid of all the bullshit. Check the dates. You like throw out all the Chinese food that's in there. That stupid pizza box. You know, get in those bins and clean your fucking fridge, and then do 10 push-ups. That's all I want you to do today.
There it is.
That's all I want you to do today.
That's it.
And then pick something else tomorrow. And tomorrow, clean your toilet with the toilet brush. Get rid of that yellow ring. It really feels nice to piss in a nice toilet.
There you go.
You know, so like just do little things every day and move towards a better life step by step. Don't overwhelm yourself. You have a lot of work to do. Just take it day by day.
Day by day. What was it? What's the brighter side of working nights and having literally no social life? You don't have to deal with fucking people.
I mean, I used to work nights all the time. You know, it's fine. I wish I knew what job you had. If you worked at a restaurant, then we used to all just hang out.
Yeah, if you work at a bar, your job is a social life, but I'm guessing that's not the kind of work you do.
Maybe you do. Yeah, you know, I mean, you can find new ways to hang out with people. You know, you don't necessarily have to hang out at night. You know, you can hang out during the day. You get to know people better, and you're not as hammered, you know, usually. And so I would say go to a cool diner and just talk to whoever's around.
Yeah, nights can be really interesting places where people can really open up and get interesting. So maybe the one thing is that the nighttime can be a pretty rad situation if you can make the best out of it.
Pick a good book. Read that shit.
Read the fuck out of that book, dude, and stop fucking around and actually read every word of it. My kidney, Jen, another one from before about the dialysis. My kidney doctor is a huge asshole. He screams at me for having one pizza slice every 6 months. My clinic sucks. They have terrible nurses. I've seen 3 people die right next to me. Thank you for the bits.
Whoa.
Shame stain.
Oh, Shame Stain. Gotta do push-ups and clean the fridge. Hell yeah. Go
Beautiful.
get him, Shame Stain.
Do it, dude. Easy shit.
Change that name, too.
I would, yeah.
What was that last one? I'm sorry.
It was about the dialysis. The doctor, the 3 people dying right next to him. I mean, is there any way to find another clinic? This just sounds like a terrible place. It sounds like a horrible, awful clinic. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the deal is with that, though. But
you know, you ain't dying. You know,
Yeah.
they're worse than you are.
I will say the brighter side for this person with the dialysis and the CBD oil, I see at least like 5-6 people doing their own research now to help help this person
read this
find
chat.
some answers about the CBD. So you have people, you have the brighter side of your situation. You have strangers from all over the world right now looking into your issue, and how does that gotta feel? It's gotta feel pretty good. What's the brighter side of my wife finding out I jerked it to a booty Instagram shot of her sister, who's also our roommate? She was not happy. Is this real? This can't be real. She was not happy, felt betrayed, and felt like her sister should feel violated.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. All right. How did she find out about that?
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. You probably shouldn't. Do what you can to not have thoughts like that. You walked Holden. You walked.
Unfollow the Instagram first and foremost. Can you do that for me, buddy? Because then
Yeah.
you won't see the things. All right.
You might be in for some trouble here.
The brighter side.
Oh man,
I don't know if you can go. Here, let me.
It's
grab
tough.
The microphone. I would say that you got it. I think you're done. I think your fish is. I think your duck is cooked, bro. You can't come back from jerking off somebody's fucking sister pictures.
Yeah,
if I did that, like some
throwing her-
fucking murder, I would be so out in the. She would build me a doghouse and put me in it.
the brighter side is to never do this again. That is
in
the brighter
future
side.
in any other relationship you're in, because it's like, man,
It's not worth it, man. At the end of the day, it might have been a fun little jammer, but
My question for you, Ed, and this is a yes or no question that doesn't necessarily need an explanation.
All right.
Is this considered cheating?
it's not cheating, but
Okay.
it is not good.
I mean, because it's like, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I have masturbations, and
course,
you
you're a
know,
normal
it's not
human
like I'm
being.
always thinking about, it's like you thinking about.
Keep your jerking off to strangers.
Yeah.
You really, it's
Keep
really
it to
will help you.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Keep it to
'cause
fucking strangers.
I don't want to know who your fucking father is.
Yeah.
Like keep your jerking off to people you don't know. Because the next thing you know, you're gonna have to look them in the eye, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, I do want to fuck you. You got to keep those evil demons out of your brain, man. And so yeah, jerk off to strangers.
Man, Chop Shop, this is going back to our discussion. I really liked this comment here because this is another perspective on the whole pills to heroin thing or the whole drug epidemic in small towns. And it really is a small town issue, right?
Yeah.
You're from a tiny town, you're bored, so you start with coke, then your friends are doing pills, so you try it, then you smoke crack a few times at a party, then you snort heroin. If I hadn't left my hometown, I'd probably be dead like a lot of friends I left there. Yeah, it's like boredom in small towns. How did we deal with this in the past? It seemed like small town people, and maybe this is all just a menagerie, just some fake out, but it seems like back in the day in like the 50s, they were pretty happy. People liked simple lives.
Well, I mean, heroin wasn't as popular in the 50s.
I guess that's true. I mean, people were probably drunks in those small towns
there was
and
no
doing
meth,
stuff like that. Yeah.
There was no crack. Crack came in the 80s and the 70s.
That's true. These epidemics just fucking ate up these American towns that used to seemingly be content
yeah.
being in a small town and just like knowing, small towns and just being racist.
Yeah.
Seems like they were just cool with that. Maybe that's what it is. Racism went away and they were like, we need something else to fucking fuck our heads up with.
It's weird because a lot of my friends who still live at home,
Racism didn't leave, by the way, but still.
they're fine.
Yeah, right?
For the most part, I mean, you drink and maybe smoke a little weed, but they're fine. And if they had a problem, they dealt with it and they got better. People. You got out because you wanted to change your life and make a better life for yourself, and so you can be happy knowing that you're good to yourself and you got promise and you got a drive. And those people don't, and it's sad, but that's just how it happens with some of these fuckers, man.
Right. Some talk about panic attacks. I've tried to be there for the son. This is going back to the lady
What
that
is
flipped
this?
the switch. The lady that flipped the switch on the guy. He's in the custody of the parents, but she hit me with a restraining order. The parents want me there, but she doesn't. Yeah, I think you just got to walk away from that one. It just doesn't sound like it's going to be possible. Also, again, with the dialysis, oops, I forgot to type the main reason I wanted to try CBD. It's because doctors just prescribe super strong pain meds.
Yeah.
So this wraps into the other shit we were fucking talking
That happened
about,
to
Ed.
me. That happened to me when
Plus,
I had my hernia. I got addicted to fucking Percocet.
Plus, I have anxiety, and I want to stop taking them as a crutch because I'm 24/7 in pain. Want to stop taking that stuff. I think the reason hospitals insurance don't like weed or anything is that because they don't get paid for it, which I think is completely true.
It's the goddamn truth, man. You need to try to take things in your own hand, and I hope some of this stuff works out for you and you're able to get it's medicine. Stop fucking with weed.
Yeah.
You got a bellyache. It makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy the way people are evil. These fucking medicine corporations, whatever the fuck you want to call them, drug companies, pharmaceutical companies, they're straight up evil.
Yeah.
It's straight evil. So please do whatever you can. Let's fight these fuckers on this stuff. It's killing people all across the country. There's the fucking crisis that's in the headlines every goddamn day about these pills that the government are giving us. So it's just take a stand. Everyone in here, help this fucker out. And let's get this person some CBD, and let's really try it. I mean, this has to change.
This has to change.
This has to change. So, I mean, let's fucking do something together. Let me know what I can do to help, and I will get in there with you guys. If you want to start going after this shit, let's go after it, man. Fuck it.
There you go. What's the brighter side of being the neighbor everyone is sick of, breaking every rule on a regular basis, mostly while being drunk? You can move to other neighborhoods and start over again until they get sick of you.
Yeah, no one will know. I mean, Jesus. I mean, stop breaking shit.
Yeah. Well, breaking every rule. Breaking every rule.
I mean, man, I understand you like that rock and roll lifestyle. You know?
I'll tell you what, you can always make good. You can bake some fucking pies. You can reach out to the people in your neighborhood. You can apologize. You know what you were doing.
You know you're the problem.
So you can fix it. So you're the one that can fix it, and that's the brighter side. Take it into your own hands. I think that's the theme of today's Brighter Side Live.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try to kind of move through some of this stuff a little bit faster. Thanks, guys. She went to the doctors about the sister with anxiety by herself after the attack started, so that's always that's a good sign. She's always been self-reliant, but she loathes the medication. I feel she needs real therapy, which is a joke under the NHS, and can't afford private care. I always try and help her, but she becomes more and more distant. I see. And at the end of the day, you may just not be able to,
Don't let her know you're helping her. Trust me on this.
Yes.
She sounds very headstrong. Don't let her know that you're helping her.
There you go. Okay. Hey, Ed, tell us the brighter side of all the traveling you do. I assume it's a lot of money and tiring, but I'd like to hear from you.
Well, a lot of times it's for work, and so it's not a lot of money for me. So I get to work it out where it's I don't pay for most of the trips. Like this trip, I used some Delta money I had, and then I made a reason for me to be here. Because I like traveling. I like going all around. I like seeing new places. I like getting magnets from all the states that I've been to and shit. I just got an Arizona one last week.
Home daters.
Trying to get all 50. It's stupid things like that really keep me going. One thing I do is because I travel so much. I don't know if anyone here travels a lot, but I have a goddaughter in North Carolina who's just getting old enough. She's 6 years old, and she's really starting to learn, and she's becoming like a fucking sponge. And so what I do is every time I go anywhere, I get a postcard from where I go, and then I write a little bit on the back teaching her about that place in the country, that place in the world. And she slowly gets to learn geography through me and what places she'd want to go. The one I sent her from Vegas was like, "This is an awful place. Never go here." It was just like a big sparkly card with neon lights.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Fuck it. What's the brighter side of regret? I feel massively hindered by the fact that I have a lot of physical scars from when I was a kid, and then later self-harm.
I do too. Just get a tan. It'll start going away. And there's different ointments that you can grab that will help heal your scars.
And also, man, I mean, I don't know, this is all corny and shit, but whatever. I mean, you grew from that and learned from that experience, whatever it was, and apparently you seem to needed to have gone through that to move forward as a human being. So the fact that you regret it means you've evolved, and maybe that's the best brighter side to take away from that. Motherfucking shit. Also, she's a man, baby. Dingle Pickle, thank you for the 5. I really appreciate it. Just started vaping CBD like 2 weeks ago, and it's really helped my severe anxiety. So maybe hook the sister up with a CBD.
Yeah.
There you go. There's another thing. That's a way you could help without necessarily just being like, here, have this CBD. I just, I'm not trying to help. I literally just came into it, and here you go. You should just have it because I don't need it.
Make sure she knows. Don't drug her. Make sure she knows she's taking it.
Yeah, exactly.
But CBD really doesn't fuck with your brain. It just kind of makes you a couch. It just turns you into a big pillow,
Yeah. An explanation about the small towns back in the day. This is definitely a generalization, but I think there were also a lot more opportunities in small towns back then. Things were affordable, even with basic jobs. Now people fight for whatever little jobs they can find just to be living poor. I mean, that's this. Everyone should check out this Raising Flint doc series because that's exactly what it is. It's like they used to be hugely successful, kind of like Detroit. They had like a big fucking
Roger and Me still
industry town.
The same shit. That movie came out 25 years ago, and it's still what's going on there.
Wow, what now? The sister baiter says, lol, sorry I broke Holden. Thank you for affirming I'm an ass. Gonna be more aware of those devil thoughts and keep it as strangers and try and get out of the doghouse. There you go, buddy. There you go. Maybe just show her literally me walking away from the screen in disgust to at least verify her feelings a little bit. Trigun had a lot of scars and he looks awesome. See, also scars can be kind of rad. I mean, at the end of the day,
scars,
maybe
everyone
just
knows that.
you know, I don't want to tell you necessarily to lie, but maybe just you know, like make up some war story. Yeah,
you spent the early years in your life wrapped in barbed wire.
Yeah, for sure.
I used to be a wrestler in Japan, and it got really, dangerous.
Dream Funeral says, Ed, you inspire me. And I say, he inspires you to do what? Eat sandwiches and fucking smoke weed 24/7?
That's a good life.
I mean, that is a good life, so maybe that is true.
We're running out of time.
We are running out of time, but I think
we
actually finally made it to the bottom of the list.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll answer the last
We've got a couple,
two.
yeah, back in the day, it seems like you walk in a pharmacy and say, hey, mister, my pa said I need work. All right, little Clancy, grab an apron and jump behind the counter and I'll show you a thing or two. You know, it's funny that we found so many themes today. Small towns, opioid use,
Yeah. So what's going on?
anxiety, mental
yeah.
illness, depression. Like, I mean, it's all the same thing wrapped up in itself.
Jerking off to your girlfriend's sister.
It comes from growing up in a town where there's no opportunity. You're bored. There's zero opportunity to make anything out of yourself. That you don't have the same kind of work ethic or sort of reason to keep going. You start trying pills and doing things. You have anxiety that you can't get help for because the healthcare system's so fucked up. So you start just doing heroin and shit. It's fucking horrible, man. It's fucking horrible.
Preach, baby.
There you go. I found it right there. Dear Slim, I wrote you, but still ain't calling. Left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. Sent 2 letters back in autumn. You must not have got 'em. There probably was a problem at the post office or something. Sometimes I scribble addresses so sloppy when I jot 'em. But anyways, fuck it. What's been up? Man, how's your daughter? I believe that is from Eminem.
Is it?
Or for Eminem. Yeah, I think that is a Rip Rap song.
Slim Shady?
I'm pretty sure that is from a Ripper Rapper song.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been getting into the rip rap.
I've been digging some Rip Rap. I was actually doing a lot of listening to Rip Rap yesterday. You know what I forgot? You know
New Little Yachty album.
Oh, is it good?
It's fine.
It's ridiculous,
It's-
right?
yeah,
I kind of like
yeah.
how ridiculous he is. I actually went old school a little bit and dug back into the old Wu-Tang solo albums last night. I was listening to Raekwon and
Oh man, we're gonna get
Liquid
that.
Swords.
We're gonna get that Wu-Tang album.
Yeah,
finally.
that'd be cool. I bet it's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I bet it's just fine.
It wasn't good enough to put out, so they sold this as a moron.
Exactly. I was having almost daily anxiety attacks from work stress, so I went to a vape shop and got the CBD. The deep breathing also helps anxiety. I have severe anxiety and depression and BPD, and the CBD has helped a lot. I went from popping 5+ Ativan and Klonopin a day to just vaping. I'd highly recommend it.
Damn.
That's just
You
ridiculous.
you saved your liver, man.
Yeah.
You saved your fucking life by
Unbelievable.
doing this.
Unbelievable.
Good job, Banolingus.
And I think that's a good, positive, brighter side note to leave it on. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I'll be back in like an hour or so to do my normal stream. Ed?
You keep watching Holden's Twitch. Keep listening to the brighter side. Check out the new show I do with my cousin, The Thick Skin with Jeff Ross.
Yeah.
I recorded some really cool episodes when I was in town. We did an episode about it was his 29 years in comedy anniversary. He started on April Fool's Day 29 years ago. We did a show with a comedy historian, a comedian from Germany who's famous in Germany, Mike Mittermeier, and a friend of his from high school. And then yesterday I did another podcast with him and David Tell, which was really cool. And we talked about some real deep comedy stuff, and it was very inspiring.
Fuck yeah, man.
So check that show out. It's just starting out. We're 12 episodes in. And we'll love you. And be good to yourself, guys. Just make it. Don't if you're gonna drink, don't be an animal. Just everything's better in moderation. People think that sometimes it's cool to just get hammered at 9:30 in the morning with 3 glasses of vodka, but maybe you should take a step back and look at what you're actually doing. Have a sandwich.
I just eat a sandwich. That's all we're saying. We're just saying, please start with a sandwich. Start with cleaning that fridge. Start with the one sandwich. All right,
We love
everybody.
you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And be cool and be good to yourselves.
Hell yeah. I'll play us out with a little Four Walls by the Cowmen. Take care, everybody.
Bye. Hell yeah.
Please, please release me from this prison that I built. It's got 4 walls, some bars, and a toilet. Well, I used to be the warden, and now I'm just a number. They beat me senseless every night and day. I catch rats from my food. I'm all alone and destitute. I pray that will soon come my way. When I was a warden, I was even worse. Tar feather prisoners for fun. I threw snakes in their cells, and I laughed at their yells. Made their lives a living hell on this earth. Please, please release me from this prison that I built. It's got 4 walls, some bars, and a toilet. Oh, I know that I deserve exactly what I got. No one but myself left to blame. How can I not see that they would mutiny? Now I'm paying the price for playing the devil's game.